This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Sigh here with another video, and this video is going to be an impressions video on the Final Fantasy 15 demo. But I will say this: Type Zero is it's all right, but this video is gonna be about Final Fantasy 15, man. And I got some words. I got some words for it. Geez, Square, man. Let me start off by saying this. Square, I love you. I love Square, but Final Fantasy 15. Wow. All right. I said in my games of 2015 that I'm kind of anticipating, and I even said that my hype factor was very, very low for Final Fantasy 15. But after playing the demo, yeah. Before I even say anything else, let me just say this. By any means, this Final Fantasy 15 is not a Final Fantasy game. Period. It's not. To me, in my opinion, it is a brand new action IP with a Final Fantasy sticker slapped on the cover. Square, we don't go to you for these kind of games, and it's weird. Fans of Final Fantasy are giving Square a pass at this. They're just like, I can grow to love this. Like, no, this is the exact same thing that we whipped Capcom about with the RE series, and we're not doing that for Final Fantasy. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 is, man, I've never been more disappointed in a demo before, ever. There is just, man, I am really disappointed because Square needs this game to be amazing, and I can understand that it's a demo, it's probably not done, which is probably why I'm gonna continue to play the demo and hope I like it. But you know what, before I even get to like the cons of why I don't like the game, let me say the pros. The pros of the game, and there's just one, is that it looks really good. The game looks good. The problem is with the graphical fidelity of the game is that I've seen better from the Order 1886. I mean, that game sucked. The Order 1886 was an okay game, but the graphical fidelity of that game with the animation and everything set the new standard. So it's kind of hard for me to jump and say that, Final Fantasy 15 looks, oh my god, it blows my mind, because the Order blew my mind in terms of graphics. Final Fantasy 15 didn't do that. It just kind of looked like a good game. It looks good. It's really good. Some of the animations were okay. The only animation that really bothered me was the walking animation. Really, all the characters are very robotic. They don't move very lifelike until they start running, or he's sliding around the floor when you're in combat. Yeah, you know what? That's the only thing that's pretty cool. The first minute when I knew that I probably wasn't gonna like the game, the demo, is as soon as the game dropped me into the world and let me run free, the first thing I did was run to a lake. I wanted to see my character swim, and I couldn't do that. The game puts up an invisible wall. You can't swim, even though they showed in one of the trailers of your character swimming in the water, and you see Leviathan in the trailer. No, I guess that was just a cutscene. You can't swim in the game. So I was just like, all right, so there's an invisible wall. That's fine. Whatever. And then I continued to run around, and then the second thing that bothered me was the waypoints. I don't know why that bothered me, but then I started really thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, why do we need these waypoints? We've never had them before. We were basically given a playground to just explore, which they do in this game, but now they give us like these points where you can just go. It just tells you where to go. It's just like, it doesn't really give me a room to explore. I'm just running to a spot. And the thing is that when you do good level design, you won't need waypoints. You won't need that. but this game has it. And I was just like, all right, that's fine, whatever. And then I kept playing the game. Kept playing it. I went to a couple of battles. And what threw me off is that you don't level up on your way to wherever you're going. You have to run all the way back to a sleeping zone to level up your character. And I was like, why do I have to do that? What is the point of that? It was just like, well, I have to run all the way back to this campsite to go sleep so that I can level up my characters and then go back to where I want to be. It's like, that seems really inconvenient. And it's like, all right, I guess I'll deal with it, whatever. I'll just keep playing the game. And then I got to the combat. And it's like a button masher, but you don't mash buttons, you just kind of press and hold it. And then your character just goes swinging a sword in the direction wherever the enemy is the closest, or whoever you're locked onto. And that's when I noticed something peculiar about the game as I kept playing through it. I was like, wait a minute, I've played this before. It just kept bothering me. It was just like nagging at me. And when I kept playing through it, they were giving me tutorials about how to warp my sword and all this stuff. That was another thing I didn't like, and it just kept bothering me. Something just kept bothering me, and then it hit me. This game plays like the last story. It does. It plays like the last story. The main character, I don't even remember his name. All of them have weird names. The only one I remember is Prompto. That's the only one I remember, and Gladiolus or something like that. But the game plays like the last story, and I'll explain why. In the last story, you move your character around, but you hold the stick depending on which way your enemy is, and your character would just go swing his sword in the direction that you hold the stick. In Final Fantasy 15, you move your character around and you lock on just like in Final Fantasy in last story, and you hold a button and he goes swinging to whatever enemy is the closest to him. The warp that the main character in 15 has is the exact same thing that the warp in the last story. The main character can charge towards an enemy and do like an area attack move. You can do that in Final Fantasy 15. The only thing that Final Fantasy 15 doesn't have that last story had was you to have tactical advantage over the battle. Like you can run up walls, you can make decisions, you can do all kinds of stuff with spear grids on the floor and heal your party. You can't do that in Final Fantasy 15. It was like a dumbed down version of the last story. And I was like, wow, they really took kind of like the battle system from the last story, from the godfather of Final Fantasy, and they just completely took it. And I was like, whoa, I was like, holy crap. It just really surprised me. And another thing is like, why do you have those other three guys with you? I don't know why they're there. They're just like these characters that run around and help you, but they don't really do anything. You can't give them commands. You can't tell them what to do. They're just AI controlled players that I don't know what they do. I don't know what they're there for. It almost seems like they're just there to push the story along, or that the main character needs friends. It was just weird. It wasn't weird. It was annoying, more or less. It just annoys me that you have this one guy that can pretty much have every weapon that all the main characters have. But what's the point of these other three guys? They're just his friends that are just along for the ride. It's just like I can't tell them anything. I can give them potions though. I mean that's cool, I guess. The other thing is that warp. The warp bothers me. It really bothers me, and a lot of people are probably going to be like, well, why does it bother you? Well, one thing, if you're going to give me a weapon that I can attach to anything and gain some type of advantage of the field, at least let me do it wherever I want. It's an open world game. Give me the freedom. It doesn't feel like the game gives you the freedom to do that, to experiment with it. You can only warp to things when the game tells you to. It's like, oh, you can warp to that, but you can't warp to that. It's like, well, why? Why do I have this then? I can't warp to the ceiling of this cave. I can't because of reasons. At least in the last story, you can run up any wall. You can basically zoom out the camera to gain a field advantage of things. I mean, this game doesn't do that. it's clearly like taking an idea from the last story and too human almost. I don't know if you guys remember that game on the 360, but it almost plays like that too. Um, Taking ideas from the last story and just dumbing it down. It was worse. I mean, the last story wasn't amazing. It was okay, but if you're gonna steal ideas, at least make it better. I mean, they just and Square, man. I wanna like this game. I do. I really do. The fact that it's not a Final Fantasy title, it bothers me. I wish it wasn't called Final Fantasy. And I hate the fact that people are defending this. Like, it's not Final Fantasy at all. It's a brand new IP. That's what it is. I don't know. Square is moving down the road that Capcom is. And I know there's some hardcore, diehard Final Fantasy fans out there that are just gonna eat this up, which is fine. You know, you're a lot of people that are Final Fantasy fans have brand loyalty. They're loyal to the brand. They don't care if it's bad. They just play, which is fine. But I mean, if the game is bad, please say the game is bad. I mean, you know what? The game isn't bad. I just don't like it. I don't agree with it at all. It just doesn't gel with me. I enjoyed the last story more than I enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. And I'm enjoying Type Zero almost, but that doesn't even feel like a Final Fantasy game. It feels like if Suikoden came up with another idea. That's what it feels like to me. But Final Fantasy 15, man. It's hard to say whether I'm gonna buy it or not because I after playing this, I don't think it's and I was really hoping to. You know what? I'll probably buy it if they come out with the collector's editions. Probably. But other than that, yeah, it just didn't gel with me at all. I didn't. I finished it, but yeah. Well, hopefully, we'll see what happens when the game releases. We'll see when the game releases. Hopefully, they'll make some changes. I have a feeling this game is not coming out this year. Maybe late next year. Probably late next year. Because this game is obviously not done. It's not finished. But that's my words. Impression of Final Fantasy 15 demo. And I will see you guys next time. You can just feel this. Later, guys.